I want to thank everyone from CFID for all the work you do in promoting the value of international development. The United Kingdom is an absolute superpower when it comes to international development. I've seen firsthand the huge difference that the work that we do makes in transforming the lives of the poorest and most vulnerable people across the developing world.
Being a DFID minister was a really wonderful privilege because one had the real means to deliver phenomenal hope and improvement to people's lives in many countries.
In politics, you can end up going la la la, where do I stop or where do I start? But doing nothing is not an option.
I did insert in the Conservative manifesto in the 2005 election the pledge to meet the United Nations target of 0.7% of gross national income for international development.
We Conservatives have always been keen on international development. You think of the great former Conservative ministers like Linda Chalker and Chris Patten, who championed this within the Conservative Party. But under David Cameron's leadership, we put rocket boosters under the Conservative message on this.
Mrs. Thatcher asked me to take on international development. It was one of the most fascinating jobs. My predecessor, Chris Patten, always used to say that on a bad day, it was the best job in government, and on a good day, it was the best job in the world.
The Conservative Party got to know a lot more about what works and what doesn't work in very poor countries through Project Umubano, which we set up in 2007. And for 10 years, it took hundreds and hundreds of Tory activists down to Rwanda to see for themselves, to learn for themselves what does and doesn't work.
I've been a number of times to Rwanda, Burundi and Tanzania. And on each occasion, I've been able to share business experience and effectively run mentoring and training programs for local business people. That's effectively a legacy of Project Umubano.
I went to Tanzania on Project Urafiki with CFID last year. I really saw people's passion for their own environment, their willingness to make something for their community, for their families, for their lives. And for me, that's something that we as Conservatives believe in. We want everyone to have their own opportunity. As a Conservative, I'm incredibly interested in ensuring that all young people have a good education, and that includes particularly girls in other countries. We want to make sure that they have life opportunities to grow and not be trapped in a cycle of poverty, deprivation or marginalisation.
We've been able to educate 1.5 million girls from some of the world's most marginalised places, and that's incredibly important, of course, for those girls, because it means that they can make choices about what they want to do in their life, but that also supports their families and their countries and their future.
Conservative values are basically about helping people be the best that they can. And obviously that's mostly people here in the UK. But if we want to address some of the issues that are happening elsewhere in the world that will have an impact on people here at home if we don't, then it's very important that we invest both here and abroad.
Health and education are fundamental to people being able to succeed, whichever country they're in.
At the heart of our values as a nation, we believe in the sanctity of human life. We believe that everyone should have the chance of reaching their full potential. So it's absolutely in tune with our values as well that we keep aid spending strong. That's good for the world, it's also good for Britain.
We are a rich country by any measure, and I think it is tantamount on us to support those, frankly, less fortunate than ourselves.
I think we have to always remain vigilant that we provide value for money for the British taxpayer. I'm very confident that DFID, under the current leadership in the Conservative government, will make sure that every penny provided by the taxpayer actually provides value for money.
We live in an increasingly interconnected world, and diseases and security issues, they jump borders and they jump oceans. So not only are we doing the right thing for the whole of the world, we're also doing what's in our own national interest.
It might help reduce the pressures for migration if people can see hope and promise in their own countries. And the more prosperous the planet is, the more trade there will be, and the more we in the United Kingdom will benefit.
International development absolutely matters for the developing world, but it also matters for us in our country, in the United Kingdom, if we want to see a cleaner, greener, healthier, safer, better educated, and ultimately more prosperous world.